first started drinking beers, I did love a good West Coast IPA. However, I think I just had so many, when I was living there, that I just kind of, I don't dislike them, but I sort of got over that intensity. So, and then when I moved to the East Coast, I tried hazy beer, which is more of like a East Coast style beer. The hazy style of an IPA. But yeah, so I have this can of this hazy IPA that's really good. It's pretty strong. Ooh, that was loud. Okay, y'all ready for this? So there we go. Cheers. Yep. That's as good as I remember. Okay, hopefully I don't. Getting out of breath. Sometimes when I do these videos, I forget to breathe, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was gonna say it's still as good as I remember. So I'm just gonna roll up my sleeves a little bit. And roll up the sleeve. It's a little itchy. Okay. Alright, let's get started with this story. So, I'm a paper person, so I did print out the story from the subreddit No Sleep. This is a story that was the first No Sleep story that I ever read. And I don't know if you can see, my printer's running a little low, but this is only part one. There's up to 16 parts of the story. So if you guys enjoy the story and you would like to, have me make more parts, please let me know. But we're gonna try it out and see how it goes. So this story is called My Romantic Cabin Getaway. The mystery unravels. Before I get into the story, I do want to say this individual who wrote this story, it was received so well by the public that he actually got offered a book deal for writing horror novels. So I'm going to write down the name of the pen name he goes by, so that if you enjoyed the story, maybe you can look into getting his book or checking out his book. So, okay, so the name of the author, his name is Felix Blackwell. So I'm just gonna write it down. place you go used to belong to indigenous community, and the few of them who remain keep the traditions and stories alive. Pikes Peak is no different. There are enough stories and gift shops to give anybody the sense the land itself is alive. I don't know if this has anything to do with what is happening, but maybe someone here is from Colorado and could help us connect the dots. Faye and I are currently at the cabin. It's day 4, and we were planning on leaving today, but things have gotten very strange around here, and it looks like we're going to be here a while longer. We have enough food for a winter, and the heater is in stellar order, but the Wi-Fi is terrible at best, and there is virtually no cell reception. We feel isolated. I will try to respond to comments, but the internet dips out for hours at a time up here. Alright, I'm gonna take a sip of this. Alright. Okay, so now he's gonna talk about the first weird thing. The first weird thing that happened was the snow. There was no snow in the forecast, so we packed light, but on first night here, just our luck, a blizzard pounded the whole area. My little Corolla is basically a brick of ice outside, and there's no way I'm gonna try to make the 6-mile drive down the mountain to the town. I blame myself for trusting Colorado in spring. After a day, Thursday, of lovely hiking and sightseeing, some really unsettling stuff started happening. When we returned to the cabin just before dusk, we found an enormous dream catcher dangling from a tree about a dozen yards from the back door. This wasn't the kind you're imagining, the kind you buy. The kind you buy from a novelty shop. This thing was made from twigs and twine, and it's about 3 been a while since I've heard this. Okay. Oh, she was absolutely convinced it was her grandfather's voice, and that he was wandering around outside begging for help. That's so creepy, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. Faith's grandpa died when we were seniors in college 4 years ago. I told her that she was dreaming, but then I heard the voice too. I never met the guy, so I wouldn't recognize his voice, but it did sound different from the night before. It sounded older. I had to do everything I could to keep her from running off into the woods looking for him. Eventually, she realized that the possibility of it being him was absurd, so we put a movie on at a good volume and fell asleep. My cell phone wouldn't connect a single call. What happened last night, Sunday, was the thing that has sent me over the edge. Essentially, the same thing happened around 1 a.m., at which point I was still awake, almost expecting a noise to happen. I heard a voice. This time, it was a woman's. Thankfully, it was distant enough that it didn't wake Faye. I walked into the bathroom and cracked the window open just a little bit. The frosty air. Okay. Last page, everyone. The frosty air that came through that crack seemed like a death sentence to me as a Californian. Nobody could survive outside for that long in that, not without serious military-grade winter gear. And yet, someone was wandering the fuck out there, stepping on twigs and crying. I'm a reasonable, skeptical, sometimes arrogant agnost, but I'm telling you, the voice sounded exactly like my mother's. My mom is alive and well and living in Southern California, so my brain instantly cramped at the sound of her voice out here in the Rocky Mountains. I would know my mother's voice anywhere. I think we all would. And I'm telling you, I'm about 90% sure it was hers, which is way, 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 way too sure to not scare the shit out of me. I grabbed my light and went outside with a blanket wrapped around me and my hiking boots on. I circled the entire cabin and looked around. There was snow pushed off out of the way in a big meandering pattern that snaked in and out of the tree line, like someone was drunkenly shuffling around. Maybe they were injured. The path went right up to the bathroom window and then back into the woods. Each time the voice called out, I shouted, "Mom, who's there? Who are you?" And each time the voice receded further into the woods. I'm pretty certain it was trying to coax me deeper and deeper into the forest, away from my cabin. I'm still alive because I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna die like some dumbass in a bad horror movie. I went back inside and made sure we were locked down tight. Since I can't call the ranger station, I'm posting this instead. I will keep you updated. Edit. It's Monday and we got a hold of Faye's dad. The weather is supposed to clear up tomorrow, so he's going to come pick us up in his truck and help get my car down the mountain. I will keep you all informed. Only one more night in this place. I'll try to get some photos up. Edit. 9:30 p.m. Monday. I've been able to get on twice today. I wish I knew more about electronics, but I am a history teacher. Sigh. So I don't think I can fix the Wi-Fi or predict when it will work. I can receive messages in some Reddit posts, but I cannot load some websites or view photos. Faye hasn't been feeling well since noon. She developed a stomachache and has been intermittently throwing up. We both eat the same thing and I feel fine, so I'm not sure what it is. She sometimes gets like this when she gets worked up. Although I'm agnostic atheist, she is a very Catholic and is pretty convinced that something supernatural is going on. No need for alarm at the moment. She does not have a fever and I'm keeping her hydrated and in high spirits. She seems to be on the mend. Went to sleep about an hour and a half ago. Some noises to report. Cackling, repetitive vocalizations in the forest, probably 100 yards out. The tree line starts at about 20 yards out, so the sound is coming from much deeper. Some movement spotted just behind the tree line at dusk, but could be elk, deer, who knows. Couldn't see very much. Keeping all the curtains closed, windows locked, furniture in front of the front door, back door, and I'm checking on Faye every half hour. Her dad will be here in the late morning to pick us up, / take my car out. Another Redditor near us pointed out that I'm an idiot for not double checking the weather. sip. Cheers, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. And stay tuned for more videos from me, Tingles Bells. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share my channel.